Hello Ken, got your second set of Solexes taken care of. I will be doing I haven't run these things since I sent you that quick 1-minute video showing them starting up and running briefly. I haven't run them since, and we're going to do, I'm not going to call it a cold start video, we're going to do an ambient temperature start video. Ambient being 92 degrees, everything's 92 degrees. These things have just been sitting outside, just like a normal person would do with their carburetor. Just let them sit ambient, and we'll give them a test run here in a little bit and then show you about how they adjust. The all the steel parts plated, cadmium is original. All the machine work's done. Bushings for the throttle shafts. We're not like the other people that run throttle shafts in the soft pot metal body. We got bronze bushings in there, new butterflies. The bores and the throttle shafts are now plumb and concentric with each other compared to what they did in 1950 French machine work. New factory gaskets, red down here, you can see them. Let's get that straightened out a little bit there. It's gonna sneeze. Excuse me. All right, so everything's fine and dandy. Got your hollow bolts underneath here, and all those 6x0.75 pitch threads are in good shape. One thing I recommend, as I mentioned in previous videos, is you install these things loose and then put your air log in place. Snug down the air log at a couple of points so that the air log and the carburetors align, and then tighten up your carburetors to the intake manifold. That way you can have good alignment with your air log when it comes time to set it in. And that's the last thing I install in these. When I install a set of carburetors on the car, I will rig up a wire from the throttle right here over to the inner fender using one of the hood support mounts as a detaching point, so that you can run these things without the air log, and you can check your final adjustments with the synchrometer. And that's because you're going to adjust these carburetors to your engine. I'm going to adjust them to mine, and you're going to adjust them to your engine, which will mean adjusting the idle mixture screw. And then once you snap in your linkage, throttle linkage, you're going to adjust your idle speed to get those synced up. And you need to tie the choke cables together. I have a representative piece of heater cable wire, choke cable wire here that I've bent into a curly Q where I can pull up on it and tie these things together. And that's what you need to do as well. Just use a tie strap or twisting to keep them momentarily keep this first one from flopping around. And speaking of chokes, we want to make sure we got the chokes do their thing. Once you pull up on the choke, you should be able to do this. Make sure they're operating loosely and freely. You want to be careful adjusting here. You don't want to get too much adjustment on these things, because that screw here can bind. But you can adjust these to where they line up a little bit better, or line up for your air log and your choke cable. Trying to think. Always use the 17 millimeters here to secure this fitting in the fold bolt cover, and then you do your twisting right here. Idle mixture screws, let's go over those real quick. Idle mixture screws, this one is a dummy. It doesn't do anything, it's just there to fill a hole. This is where you adjust your idle mixture screw on each carburetor, and as the name implies, you're going to adjust it at idle, and that's only after the carburetors have warmed up. Then you're going to snap the linkage off and keep a hold of it so you don't have a runaway carburetor, and then you're going to do your adjusting with your synchrometer. So I'll show you that in a minute. First, we're going to get these things cranked up. We're going to see how they do on an ambient temperature hot day. And then, oh yes, over here we've got the tachometer. I'm going to zoom in on this and show you what idle speeds we're getting and how low these things will go, just for fun, how low they will idle, which is a indication of the machine work. And it's pretty fun to do that. So now we'll be able to see, okay, well, expected values: minimal airflow through the second barrel of each carburetor, Anything below 3 is good. The factory was running between 2 and 3, and we usually can get less airflow than that, which means you have a better idle because you're idling on the first barrel of each carburetor. And so what we want is uniform airflow out of each throat, and again, that's what you're going to adjust when you get them on your engine. Okay, let's see. Batteries connected. Switch on. A couple of blips. Choke. How about that for having been run for a few days? Now, I'm going to rev it up, and I'll notice that the choke lever is tied in with your throttle. So when I move this, I don't mean to keep bumping the camera. So when I move the choke lever, we're actually moving the throttle. And that clearance on this little set screw back here is 15 thousandths, and I'll set that for you, but it's just got to be some amount that you can activate the throttle with the choke. And I will set these the clearance here on these counterweights right here, just a little bit of clearance, because you've got this pin right here that impinges on the second barrel throttle shaft and artificially closes the second barrel once they've been opened under vacuum. And that has to be, you don't want that to be too tight, because it'll artificially affect the first barrel of each carburetor. So let's see, we can still read this. Okay, now we're going to rev it up. Get it warmed up. You may see little drips of fuel right here. There is a port inside this throat that vents fuel that cools up here and vents it over to the first barrel and supposedly sucks it through this port right here. And it's, believe it or not, it's called the sucking off device, and it's in the shop manual. Anyway, the port right here collects cool fuel in the second barrel and runs it over to the first barrel. Alright, so now we're going to disconnect our throttle linkage. And you can tell the difference in how the engine is idling because the throttle linkage was out of adjustment. And Now we're going to check our readings. No airflow there. No airflow there. Maybe 1.5. Alright, and I've already adjusted the carburetor, so we should have 6 and change right here. So almost 6 right there. So we're going to do some adjustment. What we're going to do is back this one out. And we're going to see how low these things will go. There's about 5 right there. And just for fun, go over here to the tachometer. Move this around. You can see a little bit better. Okay. We're reading the tachometer right here on this scale. We're on the low scale, reading 625 approximately. And we'll see if we can get to the idle even lower just for fun. There we go, nice idle. It's 575, give or take, 550. That's all due to the machine work. Now we're going to bump it back up to where it should be, down to 700. $750, give or take, and we're going to check our airflow. We're at 6.5, 7, 6 right there. So we're going to back off on the. Nope, we're going to increase on the second barrel, second carburetor. So about 800. Let's get down to 750. Back it off a smidge. Alright, airflow 6.5, 7, 6.5, 7. Alright, now we're going to do the idle mixture screws, and you're going to see the, as I screw the idle mixture screw in and out, you're going to see the RPM change, drop. And what we want to do is get to where it runs the best. But as you screw it in, screw it out, the engine's going to stumble. Alright, see we're losing idle. Now we're going to back it out. Get our best running. Start to stumble again. Going to screw that thing back in. Get our best idle. We do that on both carburetors. Stumbling again. Back it out. It doesn't take much. We're talking about 1/8 of a turn, 1/4 of a turn. All right. Back that back out. Now we need to adjust our throttle linkage. Alright, use the turnbuckle, adjust the throttle linkage. We'll put this up on the high scale. Back to our idle. Picked up a little bit there. We can back off on the idle screws if we so desire. There we go, back to 800. That's the fun part of multiple carburetors and linkage. Alright, so now we're going to swing over here back to our okay. So we're back to running about 6.5 there. 6.5 there. Put our throttle linkage back on. Alright. Now we'll try a hot start, just for fun. That last part was me screwing with the starter by accident. Alright. Got you a nice running set of carburetors. Thanks for your patience.